elected Vidagashi. Is he here? County, yeah, Vidat. Well, Happy New Year. This is awesome. What a way to spend the first day of the new year. You know, it's a privilege to be here doing what I can do today for the newly elected officials. I've sat in their shoes and know the excitement and the anticipation that they're going through, and some of them have been reelected, and so it's a second round. But there's a newbie here, two newbies actually here, and it is an exciting time for Westchester County. It's an exciting time for the town of Yorktown. It's really going to be taken off, and it's in good hands. So I just wanted to give some opening quick remarks with regards to Happy New Year to 2020. It's a new decade that we're involved in here. It's a new direction in the town. And it's very, very exciting times for the town of Yorktown and our newly elected officials. I would ask everybody to just please stand because we are going to have the presentation of the colors. Thank you. Now, next I will ask a former town councilman in the town of Yorktown and a World War II veteran to come up and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, Mr. Tony Grasso.
Any veteran that is here today can join me in saluting the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Tony. Next, I'd like to introduce Sean and Valerie Riley for the singing of the national anthem. Solo. Sean Riley.
My wife is going to come out later. I'm going to give you a note, folks. Okay, you ready? You ready? Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous plight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the darkest red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave?
Everybody can be seated, please. Father Dean Jerko from St. Patrick's Parish is here to give us our invocation. Monsignor, not Father. My apology. You deserve that.
Still me. Let us pray. Almighty God, from whom all authority on earth comes, grant that our elected officials may serve all those entrusted to their care with compassion and respect. Help them in their various roles to protect the most vulnerable in our midst. Guide our public officials to fulfill their duties in justice and in truth. Give them your grace in making even the most difficult decisions. Help them to foster harmony among all peoples and to work against hatred. May the town of Yorktown be an example of good government and peaceful living to all its residents and the surrounding communities. May you keep us from all harm, Lord, and help us to think of others and do unto others as we would have done to ourselves. Make us thankful for our blessings and for those who have served and those who begin to serve and continue to serve, especially our new supervisor and his family. Almighty God, continue to bless us and keep us in your care in this new year 2020 and always. Amen. Thanks. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to call up John McMullen and lead us in a poem.
I have this on, so I know who I am. Election. The election is over. Congratulations to the winners. Condolences to the losers. Now we move on. The winners owe us, voters and non-voters alike, that they will work to the best of their ability. We, the public, owe the winners our attention, compliments when we agree with their actions, thoughtful complaints when we don't. And 2 years, 4 years, whenever their turn ends, we'll do it again, as we have since the beginnings of the Republic. We will judge their performance, but who will judge ours? And the last, 2020 in Yorktown. 2020 promises to be a very contentious year in our country. We'll have an impeachment and an election. The impeachment is not being considered on its merits or its lack thereof, but rather is the basis of hostility and innuendo from both sides. Whatever the result, the election promises to be more of the same. It will be good to remember that no matter what the outcome of any of these, we will all still be living together in Yorktown. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. So before we start, what everybody's been waiting for is the taking the oaths of offices. I would just like to acknowledge a few people that have come out of their way here on January 1st, New Year's Day, to make it a special day, and not only for the elected officials, but to be friends. And that's what we're all here. We all live in this community together, and we want to make sure that we can stay here and take care of one another. So I'd just like to point out we have Kevin Byrne, the Yorktown GOP chair, is here. I'm not sure where he's at, but Kevin, we had Highway Superintendent Dave Pagnelli, who does a great job with our roads. We had Chief Paul Oliva, who came from Mount Pleasant. Paul, I'm not sure where you are, but thank you for being here. There you are. It was always great working with you, Paul. Tremendous job you do down there between you and Chief Noble here in Yorktown. It's nice to know we have good law enforcement that's taking care of our community to keep it safe, because you can see what's going on in a lot of the world today and, in New York State. So we really appreciate you and what Chief Noble and the other law enforcement officers and our first responders do for us. So thank you both, Chief Noble and Chief Oliva. Again, I said we had our newly elected county legislator, Vidette Gashi. Vidette, thank you for being here today. You have no idea. This is not about partisan politics. We really appreciate you being here, because this is about taking care of our community. So being here shows a lot. Thank you very much. I know we have an outgoing County Legislator, John Testa, who represented us for a number of years. John, thank you for your service. And I know we have a few different sitting to his right. We have Lou Mastro, one of our fire commissioners, and I'm going to screw this up because I always leave someone out, but I know Martin McGannon was here and some of the other commissioners. Thank you again for our first responders. We have Bill Faulkner from the town of Somers right here. Councilman Faulkner, thank you for coming. We have Al Libitor from the Teamsters, who was always supportive of us. Al, thank you very much for being here. Mayor Knickerbocker came all the way over from Buchanan, right by the Indian Point. We got to keep working on them. And I know I'm going to forget a few other people, but there's a gentleman that does an incredible job for not only, the town of Yorktown, but just what he does. If you ever get a chance to pull him aside and talk to him, he's Jim Rathschmidt from the United for the Troops. He's here. Yeah, Tommy. Jimmy, I'm not sure where you are. Can you just please, there you are. Jim, I know you don't like this. I know you but it's important people know what you do. How many boxes have you sent? 22,000 boxes that United for the Troops has sent to our troops overseas. And when they get this box, there's a note in it, there's a little care package, and it's incredible, Jimmy. It's unbelievable what you do. Keep up the great work, and you have the support here. Whatever you need, you just ask. We're behind you 1,000,000%. And to all of our veterans. I know I probably forgot a few people here and there, and my apologies, because I know there's some other people here, but I'd like to now get, what do we have, our special guest here, Mr. Kevin Burns, our New York State Assemblyman, who I had the privilege of working with for a number of years, and like I said, and I say publicly, it was the first time in quite a while that you had both your senator and your assemblyman on the same page to make sure that they were taking care of the people. And that's exactly what this guy did. Our collaboration on a number of different fronts was just fantastic working with them. And geez, I know between Ed and Tommy and Matt, what Kevin's going to do and Vidette will do to try and help our community will just be outstanding. But Kevin, if you don't mind, I'd like you to come up and say a few words. Assemblyman Kevin Byrne.
I want to thank my good friend Senator Terrence Murphy for his opening remarks. And everybody, thank you, Yorktown, for coming out for this amazing swearing-in ceremony on New Year's Day. I want to congratulate all of the elected officials being sworn in this afternoon, Ed and Tom. We've worked together and have accomplished some really good things in the short time I've been in office. Justice Raniolo, you do a tremendous job for the people here of Yorktown, particularly our youth. I've been at some special ceremonies where you do some really marvelous things for the people here. And County Legislator Vidette Gashi, I look forward to working together and serving the great people of Yorktown. We certainly have a lot of great things to accomplish together and do. And I do want to apologize. I was asked to speak, and I can't help myself. I really wanted to talk about my buddy, Matt Slater. Everybody up here deserves recognition and praise and thanks for stepping up to run for public office. It can be a hostile climate. Sharp criticism is thrown our way as candidates. So everybody deserves credit. But I do want to talk about Matt. I've had the privilege of knowing Matt for many years, and not just as a candidate or as Yorktown's newest town supervisor, not just as the chief of staff to Senator Terrence Murphy, or as the former Yorktown Republican chairman, or as one of Westchester's Wonder Kids of 2015 from 914 Inc., or as the Mid-Hudson Regional Director for the New York State Assembly. No, I've actually known this guy from back in high school. And some folks in the audience may know this story, others do not. No, I didn't have the good fortune of going to Yorktown High School. I went to Carmel High School. But Matt, in spirit of Yorktown, I am wearing a Huskers green tie for you. Thank you. Yeah. I'm too miserable to admit it's a Jets tie. I'm just covering that up. It's been a really tough season this year. But yeah, always same old Jets. But I do want to just talk about how did I get to know Matt? Growing up in Putnam Valley and Carmel schools, I was very fortunate to have some of the best neighbors around, neighbors I consider family. And one of those neighbors dated a young gentleman, now they're married, by the name of Corey Ash, who happened to be this guy's friend and neighbor. So even though we didn't go to the same school, we got to know each other very early. And I don't plan on telling any embarrassing stories about high school. I was basically that wrestling bagpiper, and he was the soccer player, Matt Slater. So long before any political ambitions, we were able to know each other in a very personal way. And I think that makes it special, because when you know somebody as a candidate and you know their background and you know where they come from, it speaks a lot about their drive, their dedication, their character, their integrity. And Matt's dedication has been shown time and time again from his devotion to his family, to his peers, and his community. After high school, we didn't reconnect for a little while. We both did different things in politics and government, but we did cross paths, I think, back in 2000 and must have been 8, when I was helping a go-getter running for Congress in a short stint, George Oros. People know you were helping out a gentleman who's my predecessor, Steve Katz. And we did some good things together then. And then eventually, I had the pleasure of getting to know you again, helping out my dear friend over here, Senator Terrence Murphy. And I know you were critical in helping this man get elected. And I'm not here to talk about the politics of this all, but just about how committed you are to serving. It's not about R's or D's. It's about you're dedicated because you want to get good things done for this community, because you care so deeply about the people of Yorktown. And in 2016, when I decided to run, and this is the one time I'll kind of like diverge and talk a little bit about Tom Diana over there, I talked to Matt Slater. I wanted his advice because I knew Matt had so much experience and wealth of knowledge. And I met with him at this place called JV Hot Bagels. And they were doing this photo shoot for, I think Tom Diana was running. And I'm an EMT for many years now. And Tom had this chronic issue. I hope I'm not violating any HIPAA rules here, Tom. But he had this crazy nosebleed that was like going all over the place. So I had to pull out my EMS jump bag from the car and help out Tom. And I got to know Tom better that way, in a very personal way too. And Ed that year, certainly. But, he's been there for me the entire step of the way, Matt. And when he decided to step up and run, I didn't hesitate at all to show Matt that I was supporting him, just because I know the person he is. Again, it's not about party. It's about, I know this man will do everything he can to help this town, because he's done it. He did it when he was working for Terrence. He's done this as a candidate, whether it was helping with protect our lakes, protecting historical cemeteries, or if it's just being an advocate. I can't tell you. I mean, he didn't reach out to me as a candidate, but Matt was reaching out to me constantly throughout this year as an advocate for the town of Yorktown. Kevin, what's going on with CHIPS this year for our highway department? Are they going to get an increase this year? Are we going to be able to pave some extra roads? What about extreme winter recovery funding? How about that? What about AIM? Where's that money going to come from, Kevin? Hey, what about these bail reforms coming up? How much is that going to cost the town of Yorktown? I mean, he's just a go-getter. He's got that drive. And Matt, it's just been a pleasure and a privilege to know you, to work with you, and I know together with you, your partners in local government and county government, we're going to accomplish some great things for the people here of Yorktown. And I know that you're going to be saying some remarks later, but you, your family, Elizabeth, Charlie, I swear, I think I was in enough pictures with Charlie that people thought he was my kid. But not yet. No, I got one coming in May. But I'm just so proud of you and the things to come. We have a bright future here in Yorktown because you have some amazing public servants, and I just can't wait to get to work this year. All right, take care, and congratulations to everybody.
Nice job, buddy. Good job. Yep. Okay, now what we've all been waiting for. Judge Reniola is first up. I'm going to ask the Honorable Sal Lagonia to come up to swear in Judge Reniola, a gentleman who I've had the privilege of getting to know, and his lovely wife Georgiana and their beautiful kids and family that's sitting in the front row here. Awesome. Dad's doing a bang-up job.
Okay, when a judge takes the oath of office, it's a little bit different than other officers. He takes it in his civilian clothes without the robe on, this dress that we get to wear so often. And then when he finishes the oath, the robe is placed on him, and that symbolizes in the judiciary the crossing over to be a servant of the law, and a very important step. So that's the way we'll do it today, again, as we've done 3 times for you now. Congratulations. It's my honor to swear you in.
We just wait for the kids to come up.
Sure. Takes a lot of time for the Raniolas to come because there's so many of them. Are you ready, Your Honor?
I am ready, Your Honor.
Please raise your right hand. Place your left hand on the Bible. I,
I,
Gary Raniolo,
Gary Raniolo,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to support the Constitution of the United States
to support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Town Justice
of Town Justice
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations, Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, looks good. Still looks good.
Now I get to don the robes.
I added some stuff to get you to do more of my work.
You go to the podium. Stay up. Stay up here. Okay, we can swear.
Whatever you want to do.
Here for me. All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and Happy New Year. Welcome, and thank you all for coming out for this very special ceremony here today. First, I'd just like to congratulate all the newly elected officials. Whether it's your first time or you've been reelected, congratulations, and I wish you all the best going forward in your future endeavors. I'll just talk about me. It's been my honor and privilege to serve as a Yorktown Town Justice for the last 8 years. And it's hard to believe it's been 8 years already. And it's going to be my honor and privilege to serve this community as Town Justice again for the next 4 years. This job means a lot to me. Those who know me know that I take great pride in serving as the Town Justice here for the town of Yorktown. I love this job. Wow, someone who loves his job, I do. And this job is fun, and I've been blessed to have this job. And I'm blessed to have a great partner on the bench in Judge Lagonia. And Judge Lagonia first took me under his wing 8 years ago when I was first elected. And we make a hell of a duo on the bench, Judge, don't we? Judge Lagonia and I get along very well on and off the bench. And he's been a great friend and mentor, and I thank you, Judge. Most appreciative. I also want to thank my court staff. The court staff we have is led by our chief clerk, court clerk, Maria Ritzi, who's here today. Where's Maria? There she is. Maria Ritzi and our 5 assistant court clerks and our court officers do a tremendous job, and they do a tremendous service for our community. and they put in so much time and effort to make the court run so smoothly. We have the best court as far as I'm concerned, and not only here, but on the planet, and our court staff is second to none, and we appreciate all that you do. So thank you very, very much. Also, I'd like to take this moment to thank all the voters in the town of Yorktown for supporting me continuously back in my first election in 2011, again, being reelected in 2015, and now in 2019. The tremendous support that I receive from the voters means a lot to me. It doesn't go unnoticed, and it's been a privilege and honor, and I thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve as your town justice. So thank you very, very much. I also like to thank the Republican GOP for giving me the opportunity to run as a town justice here for the town of Yorktown. I also want to thank all my family and friends who always supported me throughout the years. I want to recognize my 3 children, Gary, Ashley, and Heather. They mean the most to me. I have great kids, and I'm very fortunate. I want to thank everyone who supports me, and I have to recognize my mother-in-law, Philomena Lucia DeFemia. I would be negligent if I didn't recognize her. She does have an alias. She's now known as Phil Adams. But I also want to thank my 2 brothers who came out here today. Thank you for showing up, Robert, and my brother David, and your significant others. And I could go on, the Hoolahans and my sister-in-law, and good friends, the Spees. Thank you all for coming out and with your entire family. So thank you for all your support. Last but not least, I have to thank my lovely wife, Georgianne. Georgianne is the girl behind the guy. I wouldn't be the person I am today without my wife, Georgianne. She's great. She supports me every inch of the way. She's just been fantastic. She's not only my wife, but she's also the mother of my 3 children. She's my secretary and paralegal at my law office. She's my lover. Yeah, baby. But most importantly, she's my best friend. And I love her. I loved her when I first met her at 14 years of age, and I love her just as much today. So thank you for all you do for me, honey. I love you. All right, in closing, I just want to recognize and thank my father-in-law, George Adams, my parents, John and Rose Raniolo, who made me the person I am here today. They're no longer here with us, but I like to think that they're looking down here right now and smiling down on us. And I know my mom and dad were here for my last 2 inaugurations, and they were so proud to have their son sworn in as a town justice. They gave me values. They taught me values. They taught me honesty, integrity, fairness, hard work, and family. And I carry those values with me today, and I carry them every time I take the bench here in the town of Yorktown. And I pledge to continue to do so for the next 4 years and hopefully beyond. Thank you all very much for coming, and God bless you.
Congratulations, Judge. Next, I'd like to call up Bill Roberts to swear in your Councilman Ed Lachterman.
I just want the audience to know that I've known this fellow for the last 5-6 years, and he's a tremendous asset to town government, and I'm thrilled to death that on behalf of the town of Yorktown, he's been reelected a town councilman. Thank you. So if you'll raise your right hand, I want you to repeat after me, left hand on the Bible. I, Edward Lachterman,
I, Edward Lachterman,
do solemnly swear to uphold
do solemnly swear to uphold
the office of Town Councilman
the office of Town Councilman
for the Town of Yorktown,
for the Town of Yorktown,
County of Westchester,
County of Westchester,
and to uphold the Constitution of the United States
and to uphold the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York
and the Constitution of the State of New York
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Put your hand down. Congratulations.
Councilman Diana suggested a 37-page speech today. Might be a little much, but I told him I probably couldn't pare it down closer to 40. It's an honor to, again, be in front of you, the town, my friends, my family, taking the oath of office. It's because of the belief of my principles and the sacrifices that you all make to support me that has put me here 4 years later. I've done a lot of retrospect over these 4 years and to think what started me on this path, which was probably about 6 years ago. And it was a few people, one in the room to my right, Terrence Murphy. Also, I give a lot of credit to Michael Grace for embracing my beliefs and saying, hey, this is something that you should try to bring forward. And one person who's not with us, but we are now in a building named after him, Albert Cappellini. There were three people, three very different people, who said, hey, you know what it takes is a belief in doing what is right. I did find there's something else that is much, much needed in this, and it's the love and respect of your family to stand behind you. And I can say that none of this would have ever happened if it wasn't for my beautiful wife, Carol, behind me. So in respect for this, I intend to continue to make the decisions that I feel are best for the town of Yorktown as we strive to balance progress with preservation. I feel good about the vision of our new board and that we will all have ideas that we will all build upon together and work towards improving the quality of life in Yorktown. One of the things you find during a campaign is there's a time when you enter it where you're people that barely know each other and you're running mates. And then somewhere a switch turns and you actually become family. And I would say that, some people say that it's contentious being on the board and being in politics, but sometimes you could have more debate when you're running for office. And I think that only makes you closer, understanding of each other, and makes you better when you are up in the seat where you are trying to make those decisions and having to listen to all of the different input and make your decisions based on that. So I thank my fellow team, all the elected officials, and I thank Yorktown for putting your trust in me again. I look forward to another 4 years, and once again, I thank my wife and family the most, and I would be remiss to not point out my brother-in-law Jim, who came up from Maryland to visit, my mother-in-law Rose, who's always been behind me with a frying pan or a pin to move me in the right direction, and Carol has a very swift kick. So thank you all. Have a great new year, and I look forward to serving you for the next 4 years again.
Congrats, Ed. Congrats, buddy. Yeah, well done. Here you go. Congratulations, Ed. Next, I'd like to call up Judge Reniola to swear in our newly elected councilman, Tom Diana, and his lovely wife, Donna.
You want to put your left hand on the Bible?
Absolutely.
Is this good enough for you?
That's great.
Anyone up there? Tom, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Would you please raise your right hand and repeat after me? I, Tom Deanna,
I, Tom Diana,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to uphold and support the Constitution of the United States
to uphold and support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
my duties of the office of
my duties of the office of
Town Councilman for the Town of Yorktown
Town Councilman for the Town of Yorktown
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Gary.
My pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Good afternoon, everybody. And I want to thank everybody for taking a little bit of time out of their day to come and celebrate this new regime that we're bringing into Yorktown. I've said it oftentimes. People probably heard it from when I'm up on the dais up there. I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, or a duck. Okay? I'm going to do the right thing for the town of Yorktown. That's what I've done my whole life, or I've tried to do my whole life, is the right thing. I want to thank all of you folks for putting your trust in me for the third election to serve you and to serve this great town of Yorktown. Family, friends, loved ones who have been behind me the whole way. I can't do any of this without my lovely wife, though, Donna. Or, who's the most important, or the backing of the Republican Party, who has been there for me from day one. Thank you, folks, all so much. With Donna at my back pushing me, and Gary waiting for me usually when we're out campaigning, there was an affectionate time called Tom time, okay? Because there's the right time, the wrong time, and then I come running along, you know. But, folks, thank you ever so much. I'm going to do my best to do the best for the town of Yorktown and make the right decisions and the best decisions that I can make to keep this town moving forward, to advance it, to get it into the next realm of the way this town should work. Thank you, thank you, thank you for this awesome privilege and honor to serve you folks once again. Thanks, folks.
Congrats, Tom. Congrats, buddy. Another 4 years. Oh, boy. The best. Well, before I call up our next official to be sworn in, I'd just like to say a few quick words about Matt, your next town supervisor, who I've had a long privilege of in the political arena to be with. We've spent more time together than probably sometimes with our wives. And Tommy just talked about, and Ed just talked about, that family. So the family has grown, my personal family with my wife and my kids here today, watching your next town supervisor, our good buddy, being sworn in. But enough about him. I'd just like to say congratulations to Nan and Kathy, a single mom and a grandmother raising such a wonderful son and letting his dream come true, where you're here to see it today. So, cut the tears out. And Kelly, of course, it doesn't happen without having the backing. He doesn't work without it working at home with Elizabeth and Charlie, right? So the sacrifices that have been made over the years are here today to be seen and come to fruition. A dream Matt has had for so many years of trying to be an elected official, and nonetheless right here in his hometown where he grew up. No place better to start than right here. And I mean start, because it's not going to end just here. So with that, I'd like to call up Matt, Kelly, Nan, Kath. You got a Bible?
Charlie's got it.
Man. Raise your right hand. You repeat after me. I, Matthew,
I, Matthew J. Slater,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to support and uphold the Constitution of the United States
to support and uphold the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York.
and the Constitution of the State of New York.
And I will faithfully discharge
And I will faithfully discharge
the duties of office of
the duties
Town
of-
Supervisor
the duties of office of Town Supervisor
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Really? Just like that, huh? All right, well, Happy New Year, Yorktown. Happy New Year. As Barbara Walters said, welcome to 2020. One person got it. My family and I are so honored that you all took time out of your New Year's Day to join us. The New Year's Day inauguration is a tradition in Yorktown. It's a time when people on opposite sides of the political aisle come together to cheer the town we are so fortunate to call our home. And for me, it's humbling and terrific to be a part of it. For those who were celebrating a bit too hard last night, or maybe even this morning, I know I stand between you and a fresh cup of coffee, so I'm going to do my best to be brief. But there is a long list of people I have to thank. And it starts at the top with my amazing, amazing wife, Kelly. She's the glue that holds everyone and everything together. We had originally planned to be in Europe, celebrating our 5th wedding anniversary, which was just a few weeks ago, actually. But another kid and an election later, here we are instead. Thanks to my sidekicks, Charlie and Elizabeth, for keeping me grounded every day and offering wonderful, wonderful insights along the way. In fact, the first time the gravity of this position hit me, I was picking Charlie up from daycare right around the corner at Sunshine Starts, and I had a group of 4-year-olds surrounding me, and they told me I was now the town superhero. And you want to talk real pressure. Whoa. Cape or no cape. A special shout out to my mom and my grandmother. They're the heavy, and they still keep me in line. They still live in the house they raised me in, right here in town. And I could talk for hours, just hours, about all the things they've done for me. But simply put, today could have never happened without them. And to all my family and friends, near and far, please know today's celebration and tomorrow's successes would never be possible without you. It's great to share the stage with a fellow townie, my mentor, Senator Murphy. I also have with us today my father-in-law, George Madison, who spent nearly 30 years in public office, and also the real political junkie of our family, my mother-in-law, Nancy, who at one point served as chief of staff to a neighborly giant named George Pataki. I also want to thank my transition team for the incredible amount of time and effort they put in leading up to today. Specifically our co-chairs, Trissy Kushner and Peter Lanza. In a few short days after the election, we assembled a bipartisan community transition team. We brought together more than 20 leaders with different backgrounds, different expertise, small business owners, corporate executives, not-for-profit leaders, school board members, and they came from all corners of Yorktown. Our meetings have been passionate, informative, and frankly, they've just been plain old fun. But most importantly, we shared one common goal, and that's to make Yorktown the absolute best it can be. I'm lucky to be serving with seasoned town board members, Councilman Diana, Councilman Lachterman, Councilwoman Roker, and Councilman Patel. Together, there is so much we can and so much we will accomplish. Yorktown's also fortunate to have two stellar, absolutely stellar town justices in Judge Lagonia and Judge Raniola. Just don't confuse them with our popular lunch specials around here, the Judge Lasagna and the Judge Ravioli. I had to, Judge. I'm also excited, very excited to work with our Highway Superintendent, Dave Paganelli, and our Town Clerk, Diana Quast, who's spending time away with her family. You know, President Reagan said it best. You can accomplish much if you don't care who gets the credit. Like President Reagan and all of our great presidents, I'm an optimist, and I believe in the boundless potential of our great country and our community. The next 2 years are not about credit or fault, but solutions and actions for the community we all love. We have a robust agenda, and it's focused on the pie principle. No, not that pie you eat, although that might have been a better contest than the hamburgers I ate at the street fair this year. No, the pie principle behind our agenda is spelled P for professionalism, I for innovation, E for energy, and with apologies to my Crom Pond elementary school teachers, another E for effectiveness. Professionalism, innovation, energy, and effectiveness. These words are the stars that we will use to steer Yorktown forward. The decisions before us will be focused on doing what is right. We can enhance local services to our veterans, and we will. We can emerge as leaders in combating local climate change, and we will. We can modernize how town government functions, making it more efficient, effective, and less costly to taxpayers, and we will. You know, it's been 232 years since Joseph Strang took office as Yorktown's first supervisor. He was succeeded by a veteran of the American Revolution named Elijah Lee. To follow in their footsteps as town supervisor and join the names of Tompkins and Downing, Capolini and Elliott, Cooper, Grace, and Gilbert is an immense, immense honor. Yorktown's history is so rich, and our future is so bright. 8 weeks ago today, not today, but 8 weeks ago, the Yorktown people granted me the incredible privilege to lead the community where I was raised and where I'm raising my family. I'm honored, I'm humbled, and I'm more excited than Charlie was on Christmas Eve to be a part of unlocking the opportunities within our great town. Again, I want to thank you all for being here today, and I want to thank you all for what you're going to do to ensure 2020 is a successful year for the community we all call home. Happy New Year to all. God bless America, and God bless Yorktown.
Well, how about that? Pretty awesome, huh? I'd like to just call up Valerie and Sean to come back on stage and sing God Bless America. I'm sorry, God Bless the USA.
It's coming, folks. All right, we're going to stall. Let's hear for Terrence, who did a wonderful job today, coordinating all of this. If tomorrow... Sorry, folks.
Let me get the beginning.
I didn't hear that. It's on.
Am I on?
There we go. Great song by Lee Greenwood. If tomorrow all my things were gone, I worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'll gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
All right, let's take a trip across this great country that we have. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, to sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, where there's a pride in every American heart, and it's time to stand and say, everybody up! And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'll gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Everybody please join in. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the
Unbelievable. Outstanding. Sean and Valerie Riley, once again, thank you so much. They're always here to support the town of Yorktown and come out to these different events to give us the nice blessings that you give us, Sean and Valerie. We thank you very much. I would also just like to call up and for our closing prayer is Rabbi Habar. Is he here?
Good afternoon and Happy New Year. We gathered today for the swearing-in ceremony of Town Supervisor of Yorktown, Mr. Matthew Slater, as well as Town Councilman Edward Lachterman, Thomas Diana, and Town Justice Gary Reniola. The Mishnah teaches us, pray for the well-being of the government, For without it, without the fear of it, man would swallow his fellow alive. Indeed, it is due to the presence of a wonderfully upright system of government that law and order is established and that citizens are assured their freedoms and safety. In light of recent events, when evil and hatred have once again reared their ugly heads in the form of stabbings and shootings at houses of worship and other acts of bigotry and intolerance, we pray with more intensity than before. We pray that this precious country of ours and cities and towns within it continue to be a safe and accepting place for people from all walks of life. We are fortunate that our bodies of government, from the federal to the most local, protect the God-given rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness for all people. They are founded upon a trust in God and a belief that He created us all equal, regardless of race, religion, color, or creed. There are 7 universal laws of morality given by God to humanity since the biblical times of Noah. These are the foundations of a moral and upright society. They include the belief in God, not killing, not stealing, sexual morality, and establishing governments and endowing them with the power to enforce proper conduct. Being a public servant is a noble position, one that requires true strength of character. We are grateful to the elected officials present for taking upon themselves the burden of public service. May the Almighty reward their honorable deeds and bless their mission with success. Ribon ha'olamim, Master of the universe, please grant wisdom, understanding, and knowledge to those who hold the power to make decisions on behalf of this town and its inhabitants. Please guide them in their valuable work in the service of our community. May they always possess the integrity and strength to remain dedicated to the cause of protecting and defending the rights and freedoms of us all. And in return, may they and their families be blessed with health, happiness, and success in all they do. And let us say, Amen.
Okay. Thank you, Rabbi. Well, in closing, I would just like to say thank you all for coming out today. Thank you for spending a special day here with our new town board, our new town justices, and other elected officials. I think they're in great hands. There's a lot of wisdom and knowledge, and there's a lot to do. It's a new decade, and here we go. 2020 is starting off on the right foot, and may state continue to be on the right foot for at least the next 10 years till we go to 2030. We are having small refreshments right in the Nutrition Center right next door. So please, everybody's welcome next door. And I'll leave you with, God bless America, God bless the United States of America, and God bless the town of Yorktown and the elected officials. May they continue to do the right thing for us, the people in the state of New York. God bless.